Her Majesty has been buried, and Liz Truss now has to deliver the various things that she claimed she was going to do, not least sort out the energy crisis, sort out COVID, it hasn't gone away, deal with the potential of strike action because of the cost of living, the sheer disaster of the national health and social care. How is that funded? How is it working? Because it isn't. If you want to get a GP appointment, I can say with my hand on my heart, it's almost impossible. If you want an ambulance, well, ambulances in Rugby have now been scrapped. So I had a 7-hour wait for an ambulance the last time I had an emergency. I now expect a much longer wait. The currency is collapsing. So it's extraordinary because if you look at all these things, what is the most pressing political problem? The most pressing political problem is actually none of those. It's the Northern Ireland Protocol. It's our relationship with Europe. It's the threat of a trade war with Europe. It's it's extraordinary because Northern Ireland actually has great advantages. It's the only part of the world that can trade both with Europe and with the rest of the world, and with Britain. It's got a lot of advantages, but at the same time it's tied up in bureaucracy and paperwork, and we need somebody with sense to sit down, negotiate, and find a solution. Now, the person that Liz Truss has appointed as Chris Heaton Harris is somebody I know. I know him well. I regard him as a friend. And he also comes with a lot of baggage. He comes as an ex-chair of the ERG. So that brings with it all that sort of right-wing nonsense. And the idea, this is part of the crazy, difficult gang in the House of Commons, in the Conservative Party, that has made it so difficult for Theresa May and then subsequently Boris to actually get anything done. So whatever is agreed, the ERG disapproves of it. So in one sense, this means that Chris Heaton Harris has the wrong sort of pedigree to negotiate. In another sense, he has exactly the right pedigree to negotiate. And more than that, I know as a person, he is all for negotiation and he's a good negotiator. In his free time, he's a professional referee. I can't think of any better credential for somebody to start with than being a referee if you want negotiation. Stephen Kelly, who's a leading Northern Ireland businessman, has said that a negotiated settlement is the only way forward. He says the government has said that a negotiated settlement is preferred. He says, we don't agree. It's the only solution to provide balance and to be sustained. Absolutely. He says that both sides need to talk. And as a referee, Chris Heaton Harris, I think, is the best placed to chair such a discussion. Now, of course, things don't start off terribly well. Ursula von der Leyen was supposed to meet, I think she was supposed to have a formal telephone conversation with Liz Truss. Liz Truss was too busy hobnobbing around the country, taking photo opportunities in the last 10 days. And so that telephone conversation was shelved. She said that she's actually been doing work. I haven't seen very much evidence of it. And this is somebody who has a history of not mastering her own briefs. So time is ticking. We need to see some progress. My money is on Chris Heaton Harris. If he can solve this, then he is a very good man. But he's got a number of problems. He's got the ERG barking down his neck. He's got Chris Truss's lethargy to deal with as well. And then he's got the fact that the Northern Ireland as a ministry is fraught with difficulties and with a different agenda. Each side has got its own thing. This is going to be very difficult to play, but if anybody can do it, I think Chris Heaton Harris is the person who can. I have some optimism. I hope you share it.